Welcome back to our devotions from William J. Today we're looking at the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 13, where it says, "But through love, serve one another." And William J. writes, "This admonition implies our connection with, our dependence upon, and our obligation to each other. The service that the Lord commands is charged to everyone without exception, and is to be displayed in every way in which we can afford each other assistance. Let me observe what it requires as the standard of practice: love. Through love, serve one another." The standard may be deficient where the service is not, and this may be easily proved and demonstrated. A man has a sum of money to dispose of. He hears of a person in need and to whom it would be useful, and he advances it requiring proper collateral. But is his motive the borrower's need or his own gain? A hospital is built for the reception of poor patients. A rich man in the neighborhood reads about it and becomes an investor. He is so charitable. No, he wishes to maintain the reputation of a man of big-heartedness, and he fears that he may appear to be less than others of great means. Therefore, some who give in a way that will be sure to make it known. They give it through the medium of some other, in spite of the admonition to not let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Some would never give if their name was not acknowledged. Some connect themselves with public institutions and labor to establish and enlarge them, who would individually do nothing. But here they are put on the committee and gain distinction. But love seeks not her own. It regards only the good of the recipient. There are 4 reasons why we should serve from this standard. First, without it, the service has no value or excellency in the sight of God, and it may be useful to the beneficiary, but it will be nothing to the benefactor. Though I speak with tongues of men and angels and give all my goods to feed the poor, and even give my body to be burned and have not loved, it profits me nothing. The Lord looks at the heart. If the heart is right, the least service is regarded by him, and where it is not, the most costly sacrifices are disdained. If you love those who love you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do you good, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. And if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners to get back the same amount. But love your enemies and do good, and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High, for he is kind to the ungrateful and the evil. Be merciful even then, as your Father is merciful. Secondly, this will render the service pleasing to the one who performs it. It is the nature of love to make even difficult things easy and bitter ones sweet. This made the 7 years of hard labor with which Jacob served for Rachel seem as so many days. Everything follows the heart, not only really, but cheerfully. Third, what is done from love will excel in the manner. Being done willingly and pleasantly, it will be done more gracefully and welcomely. What a man does grudgingly, he does harshly and repulsively. He puts on a northeast face, turns himself half around, murmurs and complains, perhaps reproaches too, and if he yields at last, you feel no more thankful than if he had refused. The ungracious and unfeeling mode spoils the whole thing. Men may act the hypocrite, but it is almost impossible, without love, to act courteously and kindly. But where there is love, the sufferer is not insulted while he is relieved. Arms were not flung at him instead of being given. The wound of distress is not torn open, but gently touched with an angel hand. Oh, I have seen and heard some refuse entirely or in a degree in a way that has soothed and even satisfied the unsuccessful petitioner. Quote, "I wish it was in my power. I lament my inability to help." Or, "I wish this little I can give was 10 10 times more, such as it is, the blessing of God go with it and with you. I wonder not that love is called a grace, and I am sure it deserves the name not only for its origin, but for its carriage and behavior. Lastly, love will make our service more efficient. It will constantly excite us, and we shall think we have done nothing well if anything remains to be done. For love is generous. It does not set conditions. It will not be stinted by rules and set measures. The person influenced by love cannot, without shame, sit and enjoy the luxuries of his table, while poverty and distress are at his next-door neighbor's. He will not change his road to preserve his heart from being shocked at the sight of a bleeding traveler. He will let what he sees affect his heart. He will not say to the hungry and naked, "Be warmed and be fed," while he gives them nothing for their needs. He will give to the limit of his power, yes, and beyond his power, if some were to judge. He will not indulge in extravagance and self-pleasure, putting himself in a position that leaves him nothing to give to another. He will labor with his own hands and guide his affairs with discretion in order to increase his means. He will not grow weary in well-doing, and when he meets with instances of ingratitude, though he will lament the sinfulness of it, he will not allow them to justify an attitude of unwillingness to give liberally. All this is difficult and trying. It is. And therefore, love is necessary. By love, serve one another. This little sweet verse, if universally acted upon, would immediately turn this earth into a paradise. Owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loves another has fulfilled the law, and the gospel too. For the end of the commandment is love, out of a pure heart, and a good conscience, and faith unfeigned. You know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. How did he, in the face of our unworthiness and foreseeing our sad returns, how did he look at Bethlehem and Calvary? How did he, by love, serve us? Therefore, be followers of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ also loved us, and gave himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God of a sweet-smelling aroma. Thanks so much for listening in, and I hope to see you in the next one.